Hello, today we're going to be going through Practice Regents number 2, Part A. These are actually questions from the 2018 Algebra 1 Regents Exam, so if you would like to go and get the full exam, by all means, you could just Google it. I have reorganized them and so on, so this is just what I use for my personal classroom. So I'm going to start with the reset graphing calculator. I'm going to go through this rather quickly. You can pause and answer the questions on your own and check your answers separately if you'd like. The number of bacteria grow in a lab can be modeled by P of T, where T is the number of hours, which expression is equivalent to. If they ask you what is equivalent to, you go to Y1, type this in exactly as is, times 2 to the 4x, since we can't put T's into the graphing calculator. And then in Y2, I'm going to test each choice. This is the shortcut. This is obviously not the mathematical way to figure out this answer. We go to second graph, take a look at the table. Do they match exactly? No, so they're not equivalent. Go back to y equals. Now I'm going to type in the second one, 16 to the x. Take a look at the table. Do they match exactly? Wow. Okay, so choice 2 is the answer. You can verify by checking the other two as well. I'm just going to save on time and tell you that they do not match in the table. Second question, David correctly factored the expression m squared minus 12m minus 64. Which expression did he write? So I see one expression and I see the factored form. This is the same process as number 1. You can actually factor this if you'd like, but I just need to pass the test method is type in y1. So this is going to be x squared minus 12x minus 64. y2, type in as is. X minus 8, x minus 8. Take a look at your table. Do they match? No. Go to y equals. Type in the second one. M minus 8, m plus 8. Take a look at the table. Do they match exactly? No. In a few places, yes, but exactly? No. So then I go back to y equals. M minus 16 times m plus 4. They match exactly. Wow. For the next one, if the function f of x equals x squared has the domain, what is the range? So I'm going to go to y equals, clear these both out. I'm going to type in x squared. I'm going to take a look at the table. They're telling me the domain is 0, 1, 4, and 9. So I'll scroll down for 9. What is the range? Domain is your set of x values. Range is your set of y values. So when I plug in a 0 for x, what do I get out for y? A 0. When I plug in 1, I get out a 1. When I plug in a 4, I get out a 16. And when I scroll down and plug in a 9, I get an 81. That is your range. Simple as that. Number 4, the expression 4x squared minus 25 is equivalent to. Once again, it says is equivalent to. They give me one expression and ask me which one is the same as that. So 4x squared minus 25. Type in 4x minus 5, x plus 5. Look at the table, not the same. You should also recognize that this is the factoring method using dots. So if you want to do it by hand, by all means. Choice 2, I'm just going to help you out, doesn't work. If you take a look at choice 3, 2x plus 5. 2x minus 5. Take a look at the table. You'll recognize that they match exactly, so they are equivalent. For this fifth example, the solution to this is, well, solutions make equations true. So I'm going to type the left side of my equation into y1 and the right side of my equation into y2, because as I substitute these in for x, if I plug in y1 and y2 in my graphing calculator, it'll set it up so that when I plug in 6 over 11, in my y1 column, I'm going to wind up with answers that happen on the left, and in my y2, I'll wind up with answers that happen on the right, and then it's doing all of the math for me. So, left side, negative 2, 1 minus 4x. On the right side, 3x plus 8. I'm actually going to go to table setup and turn on independent ask. This is what I call ask mode. This allows you to type in the x values that you're exactly looking for. So when you go to your table, it should be blank, and I'm going to type in 6 divided by 11. Do they match? No. If I type in 2, do they match? Yes. Check the others. Negative 10 divided by 7, no. And negative 2, no. Awesome. So when I plug these in, I will get false statements. When I plug in 2, I get a true statement. Okay. Number 6, compared to the graph of x squared, the graph of g of x is the result of translating f of x. How? Well, I've got two options. Either understand that when I have subtraction on the inside, I go to the right, and when I have addition on the outside, I go up, or compare. Plug the first one into y equals x squared. That one's going to graph first, and then type in the second one. Take a look at your graph. That's my first original function. Oh, wow, I moved to the right and up. So I'm going to pick the one that says to the right and up. If y equals this and z equals that, which polynomial is equivalent to 2 parentheses y plus z? So this tells me I'm adding these two together first, and then I'm going to multiply it by 2. I'm literally just plugging in. So I'm going to do this on a separate sheet of paper over here. So my first step is to add them together or just plug them in as is. So parentheses, y is the 3x to the third plus x squared minus 5. And z is x squared minus 12. Okay, so all of these are parentheses, everything's addition. I can actually just combine like terms as is. So I'm just going to rewrite this without the parentheses. And then combine like terms. 3x to the third will stay. X squared and x squared make 2x squared. And this is negative 5 and negative 12 make negative 17. Okay, now I have to distribute. So multiply by 2. I get 6x to the third plus 4x squared minus 34. Wow, choice 1. Number 8, if f of x equals 2x squared plus x minus 3, which equation can be used to determine the zeros of the function? Okay, the zeros of the function are what make this equation true when it is set equal to 0. So all of them are set equal to 0, which means I'm really looking for when these are equivalent. Okay, so 2 options. You can either put this in y1, put 0 in as y2, and take a look at your table to see when they match. Or what you're really looking at is when 2x squared plus x minus 3 is equal to one of these. So 2x minus 3, because they're both set equal to 0, which means that they both have to be equal to each other, right? If this equals 0 and 0 equals this, well, then these two must also be equal. Take a look at your table. I realize that I'm still in the ask mode, so I go back to second window, change it back to auto, take a look at the table. Do they match exactly? No. Take a look at y equals. Type in your second one. 2x plus 3 minus 1. Take a look at the table. Do they match exactly? Yes. Choice 2 is your answer. Of course, you would continue checking the rest. I'm trying to go through quickly, so I won't. Number 9. Lizzie has 30 coins that total $4.80. All of her coins are dimes and quarters. Which system of equations models this situation? Okay. So she has 30 coins total. And she has a total of $4.80. She's got dimes and she's got quarters. All right, so let's take a look. Well, dimes plus quarters together are going to give you the total amount of coins you have. So D plus Q equals 30 has to be one of the equations. So D plus Q equals 30. D plus Q equals the amount of money. No. And no. So I have a choice of 2 or 3. So this has this 0.1 and this 0.25. They actually represent the amount of money per dime and per quarter. Sorry. So then I have 0.25 for each quarter, and that's going to give me the total amount of money. So choice 2. 10. The length and width of a height of a rectangular box are represented by these two. When the volume is expressed as a polynomial in standard form, what is the coefficient of the second term? Which means I am going to multiply all 3 of them together. So You take 2x times 3x plus 1 times 5x minus 6. You can only multiply 2 at a time. So 2x times 3x times 2x times 1 is going to be 6x squared plus 2x. Then I can multiply this by 5x minus 6. So this becomes 30x to the third minus 36x squared plus 10x squared minus 12x. And it's asking me what is the coefficient of the second term. So 30x to the third minus 26x squared minus 12x. So these two combine. Negative 26 is the coefficient of the second term. Choice 3. Which system of equations will yield the same solutions to the system below? So what they're asking you is how are you getting from the first equation to the first in the choice, second equation to the second in the choice? What does it look like they're doing, and did they do it correctly? So to get from x to negative 2x using multiplication, they probably tried to multiply by negative 2. But if they do multiply by negative 2, they should have gotten positive 2y. They didn't. They did it wrong. If you take a look, the bottom one is the same. For the top one, the same idea. They tried to multiply by negative 2. They did the first part right, but the last one should be negative 6. That's wrong. Here, they actually just multiplied by a 2. So 2x minus 2y equals 6. That's correct. The bottom one is the same. These work out. That's the answer. Take a look at the last one. Multiply it by 3. But when you multiply by 3, it's not going to change the second sign. So that actually should say 3x minus 3y. It doesn't. Wrong. The next one. Which point is not in the solution set of the equation? Oh, once again, I have a left side and a right side. However, this left side I cannot just plug into the graphing calculator because there's a y there. But you can do this by hand. So if I plug in negative 2, these are my x's and my y's. So this is going to be 3 times 10 because that's my y value. And you're going to see if that's equal to negative 2 squared minus 5 times negative 2 plus 17. I can type that into my graphing calculator to see. So in the home screen, 3 times 10 plus 2, I get 32 on the left. Negative 2 squared minus 5 times negative 2 plus 17. I get 31. Is that true? No. So I can wind up doing the same thing. You can actually reselect something you've already typed in the calculator by highlighting it and pressing enter. So here my y value is actually 7. Whoops. 3 times 7 plus 2 is going to be 23. And then on the other side, I'm going to get negative 1 squared minus 5 times negative 1 plus 17. I get 23. Wow, they match. You can verify later that the other two work or don't work. Which of the three situations below is best modeled by an exponential function? Bacteria culture doubles in size. Yes, exponential does things like doubling, so choice 1 is right. A plant grows by 1 inch every 4 days. Well, in 4 days it'll be 1 inch, in 8 days it'll be 2 inches. That's a constant average rate of change. No. The population of a town declines by 5%. That is also exponential, so choice 1 and 3. All right, I'll be back in another video to do the other side of this paper, which has a couple of the constructed response. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.